Hello, hello, and welcome to our morning mindset session for this wonderful Tuesday. We are continuing our theme this week on how to be a virtual assistant when you've had no experience before and the kind of things that you need to focus on in the beginning in order to get ahead. So we talked about accountability, which is like making a goal, making a plan, visualizing, doing your gratitude every day, having some sort of accountability practice that gets you into the habit of doing something on a daily basis. Then yesterday we talked about support. We talked about finding a mentor or a coach or a trainer and then joining their community and being a part of their community. Now we're going to extend on that a little bit today, and we're going to be talking about skills. So the next thing you need to think about is your skills. Now, so many times I get virtual assistants or new virtual assistants come to me and say, Michelle, what do I need to learn? What skills do I need to offer? What services do I need to offer? And always I kind of find it's the same thing with me. When someone comes and asks me that question, I think it's a very reasonable question. Hey, Karen. I think it's a very reasonable question, but there is a problem to that question. And I think if anyone just simply answers the question, then they're not doing they're doing actually a disservice to the person who's asking the question. Like, what services should I do? What skills should I have? Morning, Nikki. Then that's kind of like saying, oh, you should do social media or you should do YouTube because that's what everyone wants right now. It's like a really bad way to go about it. So how do you go about what you need to learn and what skills you need to get in order to have a really successful VA business? And I'm not talking about having a mediocre VA business or having a business that kind of where you can scrape by. I'm not talking about having a kind of blah business where you're like, oh, well, it's okay. I don't want the people that I work with to have an okay business. I want them to have a wonderful, thriving business that brings them joy every day. So in order for me to say, what skills do you need to learn? There are certain skills that every VA needs to have. And it is really, I would say, crucial in order to have a super successful VA business. These skills like reliability, credibility, responsibility, timeliness, consistency, these are all things that you need to have as a virtual assistant. If you need to learn skills, go and learn those skills. I don't know if it really is possible to learn them sometimes, but these are the kind of skills that you need to have. I could list a whole bunch of them. The second thing in terms of your actual skills development is crucial that you make the decision as to what skills that you offer in your business, because I will tell you something. Imagine, right, if you come and ask the question, what skills do I need? But you flip that on its head and you go into a restaurant and you say to the restaurant guy, tell me what to eat, okay? And the restaurant guy says, you need to eat pasta because pasta is our most popular dish. Pasta is fantastic because everybody orders it. I love pasta myself. Pasta is brilliant. You need to eat pasta, okay? So you commit to that and you dedicate yourself to ordering pasta every day. And do you know what? You get sick of pasta every day, okay? You get sick of it, you don't want it. The thought of eating that pasta every day, morning Martha, the thought of eating that pasta every day just kind of makes you go blah. You don't really want to do it. In the end, you wake up in the morning and you decide and say to yourself, I don't want to eat pasta today. I want to change it. I want to flip it on its head. I am never eating pasta again. If you just come in the middle of this, it's probably going to sound really odd. So this is the issue. If I tell you, go and learn this skill, and it's not something that you enjoy or you love or you even care about, and you're doing it just because someone else tells you to do it, it is not a sustainable long-term business model. Okay, so when it comes to the skills, yes, every VA needs consistency, reliability, responsibility, accountability, all that good stuff. But in terms of the skills that you need to learn in order to have a successful business, you have to make the decision based on what you love, what you enjoy. Exactly like you make the decision every day to eat food. You don't go to a restaurant and order food that you don't like deliberately. You go to a restaurant and you order things you like. You order things which, are going to treat you. You order things which you're excited to go to that restaurant, and you're excited to place that order, and you're excited to eat that food because you chose it and you love it. And your skills in your VA business should be absolutely no different. Okay? So the other thing that I want to add as we're talking about skills today is that I would recommend, if you're somebody who's sitting there going, well, how do I even know what I want? Because our topic today is how to be a virtual assistant with no experience. So if you've got no experience, you're like, well, Michelle, I've got no experience. How do I know what skills I love to do or what I love to do? And I would say definitely then you need a source of information or some kind of go-to place where you can start to dabble in skills. Start to watch videos. Start to see what lights you up. Start to see what interests you. If you click on a training video and you start watching it and you think, oh God, this is dull and boring, you're not going to want to do that as a service, okay? So as soon as you start diving into sort of a training area or resources or videos or classes or courses, and you click on something and it lights you up, then that's something that you might want to pursue. Shortlist it. The other thing I want to share with you is find environments which we call sandbox, and I've put this inside virtual co-working space. So by the way, inside virtual co-working space, virtualmissfriday.com/VCS, you will find courses, classes, workshops, a whole archive of training that you could literally sit there and click and say, no, not for me. Oh yeah, I like this, shortlist it. Oh yeah, not for me. Oh yeah, I like this, shortlist it. Okay, so you can find that all inside virtual co-working space. But also inside virtual co-working space, you will find our what we call sandbox projects. Now, if you've not heard of the term sandbox, it's basically when you get together in a professional environment or a business environment and people kind of do projects, but you get the opportunity to experiment and try and test and be a kind of part of that skills development, okay? So what we've done now inside virtual co-working space is create a sandbox. So we've got one sandbox at the moment, but I am going to be adding more sandboxes. Our current sandbox is how to grow a social group, a LinkedIn group and a Facebook group, how to revive it from being dead. So this is a nice skill to have. Believe me, it's a valuable skill. If it's a skill that you go and look in that sandbox and you see what's going on and you think, it's not for me, then you're going to know you will need to jump into a different sandbox. You need to do a different thing, okay? So it's really, really important you use the tools that are available to you, like virtual co-working space, like the sandbox projects, like the archives and the resources, and just start delving in. The time that you take to invest in this part of building and growing your business when you have no experience as a virtual assistant, then this is so, so valuable, because this is what's going to create the longevity of the business and help you avoid going down paths that delay your success, okay? Martha loves pasta. I love pasta. My scales don't love pasta. My scales in the morning after I eat pasta do not love me. So that's kind of what I want to share with today on the skills aspect. So what we need to do now is, okay, so if you are interested and if you're like, yes, this makes sense, go to virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you're not already in the room, obviously you have it. If you already got it, go and check it out. If you're in this position where you're really like stuck on the skills element, it's got to be something like, imagine if you were going to get up and go to a restaurant and order the same food every day, what would you want to do every day? Okay, so this is the most important. Do what you love, figure that out, and do it in the methods that I've shared with you. Okay, so it was lovely to see you all here today. Thank you so much for coming. I'm super excited that you're here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to head into our daily accountability practice. Get your journals ready. I've got my journal ready, got my pen ready. So we're going to go and do our daily accountability practice. Please take this seriously, because this is, again, one of the those key 4 things that we're talking about, we have been talking about this week. We've got one more coming up tomorrow as well. And it's 11:11 as I'm saying this. So if you're thinking, oh, this might be for me, 11:11, you've got to do it. It's like a religion. Oh, Martha, you watched all the replays. Oh, and Nikki does it on the weekends. That's so cool. I'm so glad that you will take this seriously, because if somebody said to me you have to drop one thing in your business, it would definitely not be this. This is the only thing I would keep. Okay, so brilliant. We're going to go into daily accountability. Thank you so much for being here, and I shall see you back here again tomorrow. Bye, my darlings. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.